The one to watch. This is 16 WAPT News, live at 5.
Next on 16 WAPT, the trial for Hinds County District Attorney Robert Schuler Smith is underway. The charges he faces tonight. Plus, Jackson police revealed their new vehicles.
So we're excited about this day. We're excited about this new fleet.
The new designs that are hitting the streets. And we're tracking Hurricane Florence. The hurricane preparations underway. The 16 WAPT News at 5 starts right now. Good evening, and thanks for joining us on this Monday. I'm Earl Arms. Adam McWilliams is in now with your weather first. Good evening, Adam.
All right, good evening, Earl. Yes, it was a cloudy day across the area. Temperatures only got to 78 degrees for the high. Had a lot of cloud cover around, just a few sprinkles from time to time. The worst of the shower activity is now down towards the south. That's where that stalled boundary is from Meridian down towards the Macomb area. A couple downpours around, just some lightning strikes out there. And as we head through the next couple of days, this boundary is going to move back to the north and give us better rain chances during the day tomorrow. We'll have that forecast, and we'll also have the latest on the tropics. We have a lot going on in the tropics. We'll talk all about it coming up in a few minutes.
Breaking news at 5. President Donald Trump will not come to Jackson this Friday. His trip and the Make America Great Again rally was canceled so we can focus on response efforts to Hurricane Florence. Governor Phil Bryant released a statement saying he understands the president's decision and that the safety and security of the American people is his first responsibility. The trial for Hinds County District Attorney Robert Schuler Smith is underway. Smith faces several domestic violence charges. 16 WAPT's Ross Adams is live in Rankin County where the trial was being held. Ross, what's the latest?
Well, it took all day, but just a short time ago, a jury of 8 women and 4 men were seated. They will now sit in judgment of Hinds County DA Robert Smith. Smith is charged with 1 count each of aggravated stalking and robbery. Smith also is charged with 2 counts of domestic violence. Now, this case stems from an attack on Smith's former girlfriend, Christy Edwards. Prosecutors say 3 years ago, Smith took Edwards' handgun and pointed the weapon at her as he threatened the woman. Now, the state's attorney general is prosecuting Smith. The local DA's office in Rankin County refused to bring charges. Michael Guest didn't believe there was enough evidence to warrant a felony indictment. Testimony as well as opening arguments will begin first thing Tuesday morning. For now, we're live in Brandon. Ross Adams, 16 WAPT News.
One of 2 teens charged in a child abuse case was in court this morning. 15-year-old Raviana Gaddis Blackman is charged as an adult. Police say she and 14-year-old Cameron Greer abused a toddler. Greer was also charged with sexual battery. Doctors say the toddler was within hours of dying when he was brought to the hospital. Emergency crews responded to a report of a car hit by a train this afternoon. The crash was reported at the intersection of Brown and State Street near Tougaloo College. No injuries were reported as police are still investigating the crash. The Jackson Police Department unveiled their new vehicles. Last month, we got a sneak peek of the new cars, as the design does look different from traditional police cars with an orange stripe. You see them right there, as the color and design came from a suggestion by the city's Planning and Development Department.
So we're excited about this opportunity where we can initiate the process of purchasing and providing new vehicles to our officers. At the end of the day, the goal that we are setting out for is a goal to work towards the protection of our citizens.
Jackson police say the fleet of over 46 new vehicles will help change the appearance of the city at little to no extra cost. Voters in Clinton will decide tomorrow if they want to back a $25 million school bond. Clinton public school officials say enrollment has skyrocketed over the past 10 years. Officials say the majority of the money will be used to move the Career Center from the junior high campus to the high school campus. Right now, they say half of their high schoolers are enrolled in CTE and have to drive or take a bus to class. The polls are open from 7 until 7 tomorrow. Jackson State says their game against Tennessee State will not be rescheduled after inclement weather forced the game to be canceled. It's the first time in the 29 years of the Southern Heritage Classic that the game had to be canceled. Promoters for the game released a statement saying anyone who wants a refund can get it at the same place they bought their tickets. Police and fire officials from all across the state donated toys to kids at Batson Children's Hospital as a part of a 9/11 memorial. This is the first year they're doing this, as first responders say it's important that they give to the children and put a smile on their faces.
We don't know what the situations are currently, so anything that we can do that's going to bring a smile, that's where the importance is.
Hospital employees say receiving the gifts can actually help improve a child's health. First responders say they look forward to delivering toys to children at the hospital in the future. The 98th Miss America has been crowned.
New York!
Yes, Nia Franklin of New York is the new Miss America. In her acceptance speech, the 24-year-old said, quote, "It took a lot of perseverance to get here." She also thanked her family.
As a New Yorker, I understand what it takes to work hard. I came up on a Lincoln Center fellowship because I'm an artist, and I'm really excited to just share my platform, my social impact advocating for the arts, and make sure all students have access to a quality education.
Miss Mississippi Asia Branch did not place last night, but did win a big Miss America award last week. She was named second runner-up in quality of life. That's the award for her community service work dealing with children of incarcerated parents. Noticeable changes in the 2018 Miss America competition. Now, some of those changes included the swimsuit competition. Instead of the swimsuit portion, there was a live interactive session with judges. Miss Mississippi shared her thoughts on the changes.
I think it was nice. It gave you an opportunity to really get to see, the girl as an individual and her thoughts and opinions on things that actually matter. Not some harsh political question that shows you nothing about who she is.
Asia says she plans to come back to Mississippi and promote her platform supporting children with incarcerated parents. Hurricane Florence is coming toward the coast of the Carolinas as a Category 4 hurricane. President Trump is urging residents along the East Coast to take all necessary precautions and says the federal government is closely monitoring the situation and is ready to assist. 16 WAPT Sally Kidd has more.
Earl, President Trump is urging everyone in the path of the hurricane to heed the warnings of state and local officials. The White House says he's getting regular briefings on the storms, and those will continue as Florence closes in. Turning off the eastern U.S., Hurricane Florence is rapidly intensified and is zeroing in on the Carolinas.
Lines of communication remain open, and the federal government stands ready to assist.
The White House in contact with coastal state governors.
Today, I've asked the president for a disaster declaration on behalf of North Carolina so that we can get federal help as soon as possible.
FEMA has pre-positioned supplies and has incident response teams ready to move in once the storm passes.
There are commodity movements from water and ice and MREs to supporting the mass care and sheltering mission that's going to be associated with the evacuations that are taking place.
The head of NOAA's National Center for Environmental Prediction says he's especially concerned about storm surge along the coast.
We're also concerned about the inland flooding because once the storm moves ashore, it's expected to slow down. So inland flooding, freshwater rain, things like that have to be another hazard that we're concerned about.
FEMA Administrator Brock Long has this message for those in the storm's path.
Make sure that you're documenting your property, taking pictures of your property, contact your insurance agency proactively to make sure that you're following any guidelines that they may have.
FEMA also urging residents to heed evacuation orders and to make sure they have enough food, water, and cash on hand, and don't forget to fuel up the car. In Washington, Sally Kidd, 16 WAPT News.
North Carolina has only been hit by one Category 4 hurricane since record keeping began, and that was Hurricane Hazel back in 1954. North Carolina state leaders ordered residents to evacuate the state's coastal areas and barrier islands ahead of the hurricane. State officials warned that the storm will be extremely dangerous. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper urged his state's residents to get ready, saying the storm is generating swelling waves and dangerous currents. And residents in South Carolina's Florence County are also stocking up. They're preparing for Hurricane Helene. Many stores have already run out of water.
Right now we're looking for water. We've been to Walmart and the shelves are clear. And then we stopped at Walgreens, the shelves were clear. And so we decided we'd bypass the water and come to Lowe's and get batteries.
Over 800 National Guardsmen in South Carolina have been activated to support state operations. Almost 3,000 people are being pre-positioned for contingencies throughout South Carolina. And Adam, before the show, we were looking at this image here of Hurricane Florence.
Yes.
This is a big one right here.
It is terrifying to look at. That eye just stares out right at you. Top winds of 140. Just talking with our chief meteorologist, David Hartman, he says it could be Katrina-like on the coast of North Carolina. It's a very dangerous situation. And like you said, only one Category 4 has hit the state of North Carolina. That was Hazel back in 1954. Hugo also affected the state back in 1989, but that hit South Carolina. But yeah, there's Florence right there. Top winds 140 moving west-northwest at 13. And we have two more hurricanes in the Atlantic. We're going to be talking about those and the rest of our week's forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Also coming up, top officials from across the country are meeting with Homeland Security about the latest risks to elections. The in-depth interview coming up. And today was the premiere of GMA Day, why the hosts are calling this a different view from the GMA brand. You're watching 16 WAPT News at 5, the one to watch.
This is 16 WAPT News, the one to watch.
It's been a rainy month so far. The rainfall totals here in Jackson just over 3 inches, 3.06, and we only get about 3 inches for the entire month of September, and we're only about 10 days in, so it's been a rainy month so far. There is more rain in the forecast. We'll have details on that in your 7-day coming up in a few minutes.
Election officials from across the country are in Missouri today at the National Election Security Summit. Secretaries of State and other top leaders are meeting with Homeland Security officials and cyber experts to talk about election threats, risks, and how to protect the voting process. The organizer of the summit sat down with our chief national investigative correspondent, Mark Albert.
What do you expect to learn?
I expect to talk to other people from around the country to see what they're doing that maybe we didn't think about, or maybe they're adding a wrinkle to something that we're doing, just to get a bunch of people together, all brainstorming better ways to make sure that we continue to keep our elections secure.
The Secretary of Homeland Security also spoke at the summit. She wants all states to put in voting audits and paper trails by the 2020 general election. Former President Barack Obama is hitting the campaign trail ahead of midterm elections, criticizing President Donald Trump. But the current president is also on the campaign trail, firing back, calling Obama's remarks boring.
Sometimes the backlash comes from people who are genuinely, if wrongly, fearful of change. It did not start with Donald Trump. He is a symptom, not the cause.
I'm sorry I watched it, but I fell asleep.
The president is still mad over that anonymous op-ed piece in the New York Times from a member of the Trump administration. The president is now calling for Jeff Sessions to launch an investigation. CBS chairman and CEO Les Moonves has been let go from the network after new allegations of sexual assault. This comes after 6 more women came forward with disturbing allegations of sexual misconduct, in addition to the 7 women who have already come forward with accusations. Moonves and CBS have announced they will immediately donate $20 million to organizations that support the Me Too movement. Today was the start of the new third hour of Good Morning America, GMA Day. Airing afternoons with hosts Michael Strahan and Sarah Haynes, it'll bring a different view to the GMA brand. ABC's Linda Lopez caught up with the show's new hosts.
Michael Strahan and Sarah Haynes say don't expect an exact replica of GMA on their show.
I've got a way to describe it. So if you are going to dinner the night you watch our show, you'll have plenty to talk about. If you stayed in a hole all day, you're going to want to watch our show so you know everything that went on that day.
But what can you expect? A lot of dancing, a lot of singing.
Tommy used to work on the dock.
And definitely laughs. GMA Day is expected to be lighter, topical, and according to Michael and Sarah, a lot of fun.
We want them to leave happy. We want them to leave and think, wow, that was a fun TV experience.
The former View host and GMA anchor say they'll be showing a lot of their personalities and their personal sides.
I don't know how to close my open book, so I'm an open book, and we're working on closing it a little.
And though most new co-hosts say how excited they are to work with each other, Sarah believes they're a match made in GMA heaven.
It trickles down from him, the tone, his outlook on life. He wrote a book about waking up happy. Who does that? Michael Strahan.
For me, it's a dream come true to work with her because we had a chance to do this one time before, and I was like, okay, if I ever get a shot to do a show like this again, I gotta be with her.
Sarah especially believing they're a perfect fit since learning she and Michael share the same favorite movie.
Step Brothers.
Yes.
It's cinematic excellence.
Did we just become best friends?
I'd follow you into the midst of Avalon. Do you know how to make guacamole?
And though I tried to get details about the new show, they say they've been sworn to secrecy about new segments and first guests. But they're not able to hide the excitement.
I'll do the reaction when I heard about one of them, okay? What?
They say on the very first day, expect something big.
I can't tell you anything. All I can tell you is tune in. September 10th.
Linda Lopez, ABC News, New York.
They do look like a good fit together. Now, the series premiere was a big celebration with guest star Carla Hall from The Chew hosting a cooking segment on the show.
And the clouds hung tough all day today across our area, and yeah, the temperatures did not get that high. 78 was our high temperature, and we do have some showers and thunderstorms on the radar down in South Mississippi, and this is where that stalled boundary is from Meridian, basically down I-59 towards the Macomb area, and then down to Louisiana. That's where we do have a few scattered downpours. We had some mist and some drizzle around here during the day today. Just a gloomy, cool day, especially for September. Over now to the weather maps, and here is a live look at our reservoir sky cam. And look at that, the overcast, just like a blanket out there of clouds. Temperatures right now 76 degrees, a northwest wind at around 7 miles per hour. High today was 78, low was 69, just a trace of rainfall at the airport. Sunset tonight 7:13, sunrise tomorrow will be at 6:41. And you can see where the sun broke out a little bit down across the Pine Belt area. Temperatures in the 80s, 81 Meridian, Hattiesburg, 82 degrees in Macomb. We stayed in the 70s all day long, and look at Tupelo, 70 for their number right now, 71 in Greenwood. Some nice feel air over North Mississippi. That's going to try to filter into some of our northern counties over the next couple of days. It's going to be short-lived, but it is a bit of a break from the humidity that we've been seeing. There's the front right now coming through the state. It's going to stall out, and it's going to move back to the north as we head through the next couple of days. So the humidity that's trapped down here ahead of the front is going to be re-emerging over the northern part of the state as that front does begin to move back to the north. But you can see where the showers and storms were most numerous today down across the southern part of the state. So it's going to be a battleground between the air masses across our state. Less humid air across the northern part, and south of that front and near that frontal boundary across central and south Mississippi, the humid air sticks around, and because of that, we're going to have a chance of showers and thunderstorms because this boundary is still in place. And there's the humidity going, the less humid air going away, the humidity returning back to the entire state, and we'll have daily rain chances at least through Thursday each and every day, but temperatures will be warming back up to where they should be for this time of the year, the upper 80s to right around 90. Here's the tropics right now. We have an area of disturbed weather we're watching here in the Caribbean. That'll be moving into the Gulf of Mexico. Do not expect rapid development, but it could spread some heavy rainfall towards the Texas coast. The big story right now is Hurricane Florence, Category 4 hurricane, winds of 140. Here's Hurricane Isaac, and then here's Hurricane Helene out here in the Atlantic. The good news with Helene is expected to curve back out to sea. Isaac and Florence are the ones that we're going to be watching very closely. And here it is right there. Look at that eye of Category 4 Hurricane Florence. It just stares right out at you. Very symmetric storm, very strong. And in fact, we anticipate more strengthening as Florence moves towards the North Carolina coast. Could be a borderline Category 5 as we head towards Wednesday and Thursday. North Carolina has never been hit with the Category 5 hurricane before, only one Category 4. And there's the track of it making landfall somewhere near Wilmington, North Carolina on Thursday. Winds of 140, but again, it could be stronger than that before it makes landfall, moving west to northwest at around 13 miles an hour. And here's Hurricane Isaac tracking through the Atlantic. It will be moving to the Windward and Leeward Islands into the Caribbean by late in the week, and we're going to be watching Hurricane Isaac very closely here. Top winds are 75 miles per hour. So for tonight, lingering showers early, mostly cloudy with some mist and fog around. Low temperatures will be right around 69, 70 degrees. Tomorrow, high temperature near 84, mostly cloudy with off and on showers and thunderstorms, a light northeast wind. And here's your 7-day forecast. Rain chances stay pretty high early Wednesday and Thursday. And then we go back to more of the splash and dash showers and thunderstorms Friday and Saturday. Watching Hurricane Florence because, believe it or not, that could have an impact on our weather, bringing some cooler and drier air in. We'll have to watch that. It's just bittersweet that we might get some nice weather from Hurricane Florence with all the bad problems that are going to be going on when it makes landfall later on this week.
Kind of makes the rain that we're looking at just doesn't really compare to what we're looking at on the East Coast.
That's right. That's right. It's going to be a big storm when it hits later on this week.
All right. Appreciate it. Thanks, Adam. Singer and songwriter John Legend made history twice over the weekend. The singer won an Emmy at the Creative Arts Emmy Awards show on Sunday, becoming the youngest and first African-American to get EGOT status. Now, EGOT is an acronym that means he won an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony at some point. Legend has won a total of 10 Grammys in his career. Could an ancient form of Chinese martial arts prevent older people from falling? We'll have the details on that new study when we return. But first, here's an update from Wall Street. As you're watching the 16 WAPT News at 5, the one to watch.
This is 16 WAPT News, the one to watch.
Could Tai Chi protect older adults from accidental falls? Well, researchers think so. And with more, here's ABC News correspondent Emily Rao.
The risk of accidental falls is a major problem for adults over 70. A new study suggests the key to fall prevention may be an ancient Chinese form of martial arts. Researchers conducted a study of 670 adults ages 70 years and older who had at least one prior fall. Each adult was randomly assigned to one of 3 different exercise groups: stretching, strength and agility, and Tai Chi Quan, a modified version of Tai Chi. After 6 months, the adults who routinely did Tai Chi fell on average 30 to 60% fewer times than any other group. They were also stronger and had better cognitive function. Accidental falls account for more than $50 billion in medical costs annually. And what's more, they increase the risk for additional injuries and even death. With this Medical Minute, I'm Emily Rao, ABC News.
This research says Tai Chi just may be the low-cost, high-reward option to preventing falls in grandma and grandpa. Millions of parents are taking aim at hazing on college campuses and its deadly impact. The parents of Penn State student Timothy Piazza, who died after a night of binge drinking, are leading the new initiative. The Alliance pushes for new legislation to increase criminal penalties and reach out to high school students to address the issue before they get to college.
Nowhere in a fraternity or sorority creed or motto or principles does it say to haze, hurt, or demean anybody.
The Piazzas and other families affected by hazing are hoping to speak in front of over 25,000 college students this year to share their stories and help recruit students to be peer mentors in high schools and middle schools. Today is World Suicide Prevention Day. This day is organized by the International Association for Suicide Prevention. The purpose for this day is to raise awareness around the globe that suicide can be prevented. This year's theme is working together to prevent suicide. Coming up, we've got a sneak peek of tonight's episode of Bachelor in Paradise. You don't want to miss that, so stay tuned. You're watching the 16 WAPT News at 5, the one to watch. New tonight at 6, the Ocean Springs High School homecoming queen kicked the game-winning field goal. This here is senior Kaylee Foster, and coming up at 6, we'll tell you the events leading up to the game-winning kick and what got her interested in football. That's all new tonight at 6 o'clock. And finally tonight, we are 1 day away from the finale and reunion of Bachelor in Paradise. In a sneak peek of tonight's episode, late newcomer and former Bachelorette runner-up Robbie Hayes makes an appearance, and causes some issues. Bachelor in Paradise airs tonight at 8 right here on 16 WAPT. But first, a final check of weather with Adam.
The plot thickens on that show. All right, let's take a look at the 7-day forecast. Temperatures will be in the 80s Tuesday and Wednesday, Thursday. Chance of showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures will be near 90 for Friday and Saturday. More of the splash and dash showers and storms Sunday and Monday. Looking sunny. Highs will be in the upper 80s to near 90. And of course, watching the tropics. We'll have an update coming up tonight at 6.
All right, appreciate it, Adam. Thank you. And also thank you for watching. We'll see you again at 6. World News Tonight is next.